Hello, this is Left Turn Productions, and welcome, finally, to Your Cup Series Season number 3, Race number 8, here at Tiburon. Now, here's the thing, this race took me forever to do for a multitude of different reasons, and it's still not complete. Well, the actual race is, but I haven't yet calculated the points, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the race here, and then, like I did in Season 2, I'm going to post the points in a separate video after I've done calculated them. I should be able to do that. I have plenty of time over the weekend to do that, so that shouldn't be an issue. But I don't want this video to be delayed any longer because my races are always delayed. They always find a way to be, and it's annoying. But anyway, that's not going to happen here. We are at Tiburon, which is probably one of the most anticipated races on the schedule. A long 3-mile racetrack, except I had to reduce it because now I have limited space in my room. So it's not quite as big as it was in season number 3, but it should still provide some pretty good racing considering that it was about the size in season 2, and that race was pretty entertaining. So, 40 cars here on the track where we take right turns instead of left turns, and here we are going to our starting grid. Row 1, on the pole, is the 9 of Chase Elliott, and alongside him, Brad Keselowski. Chase Elliott running a brand new paint scheme here. Row 2 is Alex Bowman and Kurt Busch. Row 3, Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson. Row 4, Eric Almirola, and that is Ross Chastain in the 62. He got a top 10 qualifying run. And row 5 is William Byron and Kevin Harvick. Row 6, Austin Cindric and Clint Boyer. Row 7, Matt DiBenedetto in the 92 this week, alongside Ryan Blaney. And then in row 8 is Kyle Busch and Paul Menard. Row 9, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Austin Dillon. And row 10, Denny Hamlin and Ryan Truex. Row 11, Ryan Newman and Eric Jones. Row 12, Martin Truex Jr. and Trevor Bayne. Row 13, Daniel Suarez and Jamie McMurray. Row 14, David Reagan and Kyle Larson. Row 15, who's in the 95? Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell is in the 95 in this race. And alongside him, Michael McDowell. Both McMurray and McDowell are also in brand new paint schemes, with McDonald's returning to the 1 car after disappearing for the first 7 races. And you have the final 5 rows: Ryan Reed and Bubba Wallace, Ty Dillon and Cole Custer, Ty Majeski and Justin Allgaier, Chase Briscoe and Stuart Friesen, and then rounding out the field is AJ Allmendinger and John Hunter Nemechek. So I'm going to quickly go over the DNQs. Tyler Reddick is the most notable of them. Tyler Reddick was unable to make the race, did not post a fast enough lap time, and since his car just dipped under the top 30 in owner points after his bad outing at Eldora, he was unable to make the race, so a big shocker there. The other two, perhaps a little less shocking, are Regan Smith with the 53 and 5395 Racing, and the 23 of Greg Galding, intending on making their final Euro Cup Series start, but were not able to qualify. So here we go, 10 laps around Tiburon, and we are under green. Going down into turn number 1, where yes, the cars go in the opposite direction. If you haven't seen this track in NR 2003 as Orlando Raceway, or in NASCAR Thunder where it is called Tiburon, we call it Tiburon here for this series, and already Chase Elliott getting a help from his teammate, and they're 3 wide already with Jimmy Johnson on the high side. Johnson has not had as good of a year as we expect out of that 48 team, hoping to try to turn that around. And now it's a Hendrick line of 3, maybe. No, Bowman abandons his teammate to go with his other teammate. Chase Elliott leads the first lap, but Alex Bowman's going to take the lead. Bowman has not won since season number 2, so you can imagine that he is hungry for a win. Jimmy Johnson equally as hungry. In fact, that whole Hendrick trifecta there, not a single Hendrick car has won in the Euro Cup Series this season. As we go down the back straightaway for round 2. Oh! Matt DiBenedetto gets turned out of line. Is this our first caution on his side? And he saved it. How in the world did he save that? We're going to have to get a replay of that here soon. Oh! Kevin Harvick gets turned. and Keselowski into the inside wall. Kurt Busch goes back up the racetrack, and we have our first caution of the day. Look at that. I think that's all 4 Penske cars entered in this race. All 4 of them taken out in this wreck, you can see. Very bad wreck for Penske Racing. You see Austin Cindric in the part-time 02, only their second start this season. And they are in the wall. Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. So the Penske cars that dominated the first half of the season all junked up. This is going to be big in the points. Also involved is Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch, the 2 Stewart-Haas Racing cars, as well as Ryan Truex in the 63 and the 24 of William Byron. But before we look at that wreck, let's look at Matt DiBenedetto's unbelievable save. This is probably going to be the save of the series, because how somebody could save a car like that, I have no idea. You see, he got a little bit of a tap from William Byron going down the back straightaway. And that little bit of a curb there that separates the out-of-bounds area from the inbounds area launched the car onto its side, and I thought it was going to start rolling. But he unbelievably set it back on its wheels and kept rolling. It kept running, too. It didn't seem like any damage was done to the underneath of the car. So I think he's going to be able to continue. But let's see what happened in this wreck up ahead, in this pileup. You see a lot of the Stewart-Haas cars were starting to form together. Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick got into it. They made contact. Hard hit into the inside wall for Brad Keselowski. Harvick slides back up the track. Cindric nowhere to go. Harvick, that was a hard hit for Harvick. He did not hit the safer barrier. He hit another car. So that isn't going to take away as much of the impact as the safer barrier will. Nowhere to go for Ryan Blaney, as well as Ryan Truex and William Byron. Really nothing they could have done in that scenario. Let's look at the replay a second time to see if there was another cause for this. Watch the 4 car, second in line on the outside. He goes up to try to take the lead from Johnson, but Johnson blocks him. And so Harvick cut down onto Kurt Busch when he wasn't clear. And look at that. Ross Chastain, I think, might have gotten a little bit of damage in that as well. Maybe a little bit of front-end damage. Kyle Busch did a great job missing this, as well as Ricky Stenhouse and a few others. So the first wreck takes out 8 cars already, and the most impressive save that I've ever seen in this series by Matt DiBenedetto. But we're going to go back to racing here on lap number 3. Bowman and Johnson, Hendrick teammates, lead them off. Green flag in the air. Back underway here. Bowman with help from Elliott. Johnson with help from Clint Bowyer, who unbelievably is still looking for his first York Cup Series win in that 14 car. Ross Chastain leading the charge on the high side. He got a bit of damage in that last wreck, but apparently it wasn't enough to send him to the pits, and here he comes. He might just take the lead. But no, instead it will be Jimmy Johnson with the good push from Clint Bowyer, and he's going to lead this lap, it looks like. Yes, he will. Will he be able to keep that lead, though, with Bowman having the help on the inside? The outside lane is fading with Chastain in it, so that run for the lead Chastain was going for, not going to happen at this point. Oh, Clint Bowyer looked like he tried to make a move on the outside, but no one went with him, so he went back to the inside. And here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the high side, also looking for his first career win. Bowman to the inside of Johnson, trying to poke the nose out in front, and it looks like he will. But who do they have to help? Now Bowyer jumps out to the high side, 3 wide across the line. Bowman leads that lap. Clint Bowyer with help from Eric Almirola, both drivers who still haven't won yet. And both driving for the same team, Stewart-Haas Racing. So they're going to try to work together to give one of them their first career wins. How about Trevor Bayne? I saw him inside the top 10. Look at Michael McDowell. They're 5 wide going down the back straightaway. Oh, this is going to be messy. Yes, indeed it is. McMurray goes around with Suarez, Hamlin, Truex. It looks like Christopher Bell and others getting involved. Martin Truex on top of Denny Hamlin. And the second caution of the day is going to occur in turn number 3. I saw them going 5 wide down there. That can work, but it's really risky. You can see, look here on the back straightaway, that's the 34 of Michael McDowell. And as well as the 62 of Ross Chastain. Two underdogs in this race. I don't think either of them were in the crash, though. But you can tell they were 5 wide there. Look at that. 5 wide, again, very risky. It can be done. It looks like Bain slowed down a little bit, and McMurray wasn't expecting it. He got turned by his teammate Kyle Larson up into Suarez and Hamlin. A lot of Toyotas taken out in this crash. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, while driving a Chevrolet, that is a Toyota Racing Development driver, so he was also in that wreck. Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier, who both had pretty dismal qualifying runs, get caught up in this wreck as well. One more replay. Oops. Jeez. Making a lot of mistakes here, but you can see it again. Again, they were going 5 wide, and it caused them to go 5 wide again, and all that side draft possibly really slowed down the 6 of Bain. And then they were going into the corner, and Bain just got slowed down, and McMurray wasn't expecting it. And around they all went. Hamlin down into Truex. Man, Bubba Wallace, I think, got some damage too in the 43. See Truex and Hamlin, hard hits into the outside wall for both of them. So all those drivers are now out of the race. Bowman and Johnson continue to lead them. Just a few laps remaining in this race. Green flag back in the air. And Johnson, I think, was the leader. He's going to slide down in front of Bowman, and he's going to take the lead. Kyle Busch with the challenge on the outside. He wants to take the lead away. He wants to get his second win of the season. I think there's about 4 laps to go. I'm not sure. We don't have a lap counter, so I'm assuming there's going to be 4 laps remaining here. And next time by, there will be 3 laps to go. Here comes Chase Elliott to the outside with Alex Bowman, and they're going to abandon Jimmy Johnson. Here comes Clint Bowyer trying to make it up on the high side. No one's going with him, though, but he has help coming from the 42 of Kyle Larson. There is 3 laps remaining in this race, and Alex Bowman's going to get the shove out front. Bowman back to the lead. Ross Chastain making some moves again with help from Eric Jones, keeping him inside the top 10. What a great run he's been having for that underdog team, Pacific Racing. And though we had an underdog team win last time with the 51 of Stuart Friesen, and there is going to be 2 laps to go as Bowman comes across the line. Ricky Stenhouse is now in second. Where did he come from? He wants to get his first career win. Oh no! Chase Elliott into the wall hard! Big impact. Kyle Busch is in it as well. Kyle Larson, Trevor Bayne, Michael McDowell. Chase Elliott is on his roof and Kyle Busch is on his side. Several cars. This is the big one. Oh man, look at them all involved. Busch, Larson, Elliott, Menard, Reagan and McDowell, the front row teammates. Trevor Bayne and Clint Bowyer. Well, not a whole lot bigger than on the other wrecks. It looked like a lot of them were able to funnel through and make it. And the third caution has been out with just 2 laps to go. Now, the question is, will they run a 1-lap shootout or a 2-lap shootout? Because the rules were tweaked a little bit midway through the season to allow it to be easier to make these races. So let's see who caused this. Oh, I think it was Chastain shoving the back of Stenhouse a little bit, and Stenhouse came up into Elliott and up into the outside wall. Very reminiscent of Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt's crash in NASCAR at Talladega in '98. Looks a lot like that one. Chase Elliott, almost eerie that Chase Elliott had such a similar crash. Then you can see a lot of other drivers getting involved too. Ty Dillon somehow missing that crash. Somehow missing Bayne and Bowyer going in front of them. Again, one more look at the accident. Let's really study what happens here. You can see Chase Elliott with the turquoise-colored car Can't miss it. The only one of its kind. In the middle lane. Looks like Chastain is really up on the 17 of Stenhouse. Yeah, it looks like he got into the back of the 17. I don't think that was Stenhouse's fault at all. And Clint Boyer got turned by Paul Menard, and that's what kind of started the second half of the crash. There were 2 different accidents there. Look at Bubba Wallace slowing down to stay out of it. Now, we will get a lot of those positions back because the caution came out while the wreck was happening, so Bubba Wallace will not be at the back of the pack. Look at that. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch. Larson kind of helped Kyle Busch up on top of Chase Elliott, who was on his side, and that's what got Busch on his side. Luckily, Busch did not roll over as well, and luckily Elliott's rollover was not very violent. And more just kind of slid on the roof for a long time. Every driver involved in the wreck, including Chase Elliott, is okay. So the race will be able to continue, and it is confirmed they will have a green-white checkered finish. 2-lap restart here with Alex Bowman and Ricky Stenhouse leading the charge. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing again. Ross Chastain making a big move to the inside. It's not gonna work. He has no help. I guess he assumed that Eric Jones would help him here now, but you have no friends here at the end of this race. Ricky Stenhouse will now go to the lead with Jimmy Johnson and the 16 of Ryan Reed out of nowhere. Where did he come from? And now Jimmy Johnson coming up to block Bubba Wallace, another driver that's come out of nowhere. And Eric Almirola. Where are these people coming from? White flag is in the air. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to hold on. He's still ahead of Alex Bowman. They are 3 by 3. AJ Allmendinger, throw him into the mix, as well as Austin and Ty Dillon. Any one of these drivers in the pack could win it. Eric Jones trying to make it 4 wide. Not gonna work. He jumps back in line. Eric Almirola with help from Ryan Reed. On the outside, he's gonna get alongside Stenhouse. Oh, he gets turned by Bubba. And over goes the 10 into the catch fence. Horrible crash here in turns 3 and 4. Alex Bowman is gonna win the race. But there was a horrible crash in turns 3 and 4. You can see the rest of the field go by. Bubba Wallace, Ryan Reed, AJ Allmendinger, Eric Almirola, all drivers who were racing for the win at the end of it, and it looked like Stenhouse was involved as well, but drove away. And look at the 10 of Almirola, fire coming out from the front of that car. A horrific crash into the catch fence for the 10 of Eric Almirola. Racing for the win, his first win. Alongside Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And it ends in disaster. Let's go back and look at it. It doesn't look like there's a clear angle of the entire crash since it cut away to see who won the race. But you can see Eric Almirola getting a huge shove from Ryan Reed. Looks like Almirola tried to go clear of Bubba. It just didn't work, and he goes instantly over. And up into the fence. Ryan Reed kind of pushed him up in there, who was already spinning out of control because of AJ Allmendinger. And look at that violent impact. And then you can see Alex Bowman ends up winning the race. Looks like Eric Jones second, Jimmy Johnson third. Ross Chastain and Austin Dillon make up the top 5. One more look at that wreck. Did not show the whole thing again because we cut away to see who won the race. Almirola and Bubba Wallace made contact there. It looked like a misjudgment on Almirola's part. You can see how that car just goes over. They all go up towards the outside wall, and that pitches up the 10 into the catch fence. And all these cars that get by on the bottom were basically guaranteed a top 10, it looked like. Again, Almirola in a plume of smoke and fire. Fortunately, Eric Almirola was unbelievably able to walk away after an incredible crash like that. We're going to have to check in on the fans, though, and see if all of them are okay, because some of the debris from that crash might have gone into the stands. But hopefully there are no serious injuries, and we can continue on the York Cup Series. So, Alex Bowman ends up getting his first win since Season 2, his first win in the number 88, and the first win for the 88 since Season number 2 as well. This is really going to boost him into the point standings, especially considering that a lot of the points leaders were taken out in the very first crash. He might actually end up being in the points lead, considering how well he's done for the rest of the season. So let's go look at your race results. You can see right here, Alex Bowman wins the race, Eric Jones second, Jimmy Johnson with his first top 5 of the season, unbelievably. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, I believe that is his first top 5 of the season. Ross Chastain with an incredible 4th place finish for Pacific Racing. Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon. Not a career best for Austin since he won the Omaha 500 in Season 3, but it is a career best for Ty Dillon, who was struggling to make races earlier in the year and now has a top 10. Ryan Newman finishes 7th, and he needs that good finish because he has been struggling this year. Just wreck after wreck after wreck for that 31 team. Spencer Davis, John Nemechek, both Caleb Campbell Motorsports cars inside the top 10, so the second good week in a row for the Caleb Campbell Motorsports team after their win at Eldora with Stuart Friesen. And you can see Ty Majeski as well, a very notable name in that top 10. And then you have 11 through 20th. Only the top 3 in this list actually finished the race. Eric Almirola, despite getting up into the fence in that fiery crash, still ended up finishing 14th. But you can see Matt DiBenedetto with the most incredible save I've ever seen finished just outside the top 10. Chase Briscoe finishing in 12th. Ricky Stenhouse involved in that last lap crash, but was able to come back and finish 13th. Then you can see Bubba Wallace, Ryan Reed, AJ Allmendinger, all ones that were involved in there. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer involved in the 3rd caution. And you can see all these drivers that DNQ'd here. Larson, Menard, McDowell, Bain, Reagan, and so on and so on and so on. And then this 4th page is probably the most important of them all. You can see just how many points leaders that were taken out. The entire top 3 in points, I believe, were all taken out in this one crash. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney. So it'll be very interesting to see how the points shake out here. So again, I don't have the point standings for you right now, but sometime this weekend, I will have them up in a different video, and you will want to look out for that video because these point standings are going to be very, very interesting to see. So congratulations to Alex Bowman, and the sponsored account I saw was Salty Salts, which is also Salty Salts' first York Cup Series victory, and first victory on the channel in any series. So good for him, I guess. This is Left Turn Productions signing out.